Hi friends, I have the honor of introducing to you Rank-165 Dr. Gaurav Sharma. He has done exceedingly well in this NEET exam. He must be Delhi rank 9 and he has been with us since his foundation years. I'm very proud of your achievement. Gaurav, how are you feeling today?
So I'm feeling great. I'm very grateful to my parents and everyone who has been part of the journey, especially the mentor, Dr. Sumer sir, Deepthi ma'am, and the entire DAMS faculty and the club family. And I cannot express my gratitude by words for the contribution of the DAMS towards the rank. And my words fell short of their contributions.
Now, you started with us in your foundation year with when you were in third year.
Yes, sir.
And you joined us for your foundation course in sixth semester, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So, how was your experience at that time? Like, you must have entered in DAMS with a very raw frame of mind.
Yes,
Must be entering into competitive world, and everybody studying suddenly.
yes, sir.
So, how was the experience?
Sir, like we enter MBBS in the first year, we are totally unaware of any PG strategies. In second year, we get to know that we have to join some coaching institute, and only name that comes in everyone's mouth, that is DAMS only. And I was also advised by my seniors to join DAMS during the pre-final year, so I joined it. But it is a well good idea to join it as early as possible from second year. So I had joined it, but in the pre-final year, and the foundation course covers the subjects of pre-final year and the final year. And so your final year notes are also prepared in the pre-final year, which is pretty lighter than the other semesters of the MBBS, entire MBBS. So though that pre-final year doesn't go to the waste, and it gets utilized to make some good hand of your self-written notes, which are revisable later on, and they are to be supplemented. Essentially, they are to be supplemented because you're reading during the MBBS time, during college hours, so you can supplement whatever you feel like you're lacking in the notes. And then so those notes was gem of the preparation. They were the basic foundation. They actually, the foundation course, the word that has it, actually those notes are the foundation for the preparation.
But I would like to, add here, and I'm very happy that you mentioned here that self-written, that what you yourself written in the class,
Yes,
those
sir.
notes are helpful for you in later on in revision as
Yes,
well,
sir.
because you've already understood them and you've written them. And I'm amazed sometimes, some people would say that, they are offering handwritten notes, and I'm like, what is handwritten? Handwritten means self-written. It's very
Yes, sir.
important to understand. It has been like people who don't understand competitive exams, sometimes they mistake it. It is not handwritten, it's about self-written. When you sit in the class, understand, write
Right.
yourself, and that becomes part of your own body, and
Yes,
that
sir.
you can read them again and again.
Otherwise, MBBS can also be done by a TLP course, but it is of no use.
Yeah, so you can't do MBBS in a distant learning program. That
Yes,
is
sir.
very beautifully put. You have to learn from the teacher, but when you learn, you make notes also,
Yes, sir.
because you might forget what he is saying later, but what you have written with your hand, it is revisable.
Yes, it will come, so recall some
So
concepts.
when you came to the internship now, and you came to the test and discussion.
Yes, sir.
So you selected this course because you had already done the classes, and you wanted to go for the application of the
Yes,
notes. So how was your approach before the test and after the test?
So before the test, we are already given a schedule for the entire that thing. So before the test, I will try to complete the notes. Essentially, the notes are to be completed. My first priority is that. If after that some time is left, so I would do some more from the textbook or whatever topic or table अगर कुछ पता चलता है from that. But notes are to be done thoroughly, if possible twice before TND. But it is not every time possible to do twice. Like for a short subject, when you get for a week before TND, and sir had already advised before I joined TND that while coming with this short subject during the TND, try to give that week for any another club with it, any other subject. So you have to gain from the more from the less time. And that is it. Then I used to give the test TND, and then only attend the discussion, and never attended the discussion without giving the test. But sometimes I was not able to attend the TND classes because of the internship schedule. But it is a good idea to attend maximum of the classes as much as possible. Try to reschedule the duties as much as possible to be able to attend the TND. And then after the TND, obviously I never got any 100% correct questions, and it used to be around 60 to 70%. So then later on, those questions had to be marked and to be read again from the notes. If it is there, add it, read it, and if it is not there, just add it or highlight it, because sometimes adding to the previous notes gets tedious when you have the time constraint. But if you have the time for the week during that time, so just complete it, and if you don't have the time, just leave it, and just revise those notes later on that notebook whenever you have scheduled your revision. But beyond 1 week, just get to the next subject. Just don't wait that week or the next coming week for the previous subject that TND has been done, and just go retrospectively again after the TND on that day itself, and later just start with the fresh TND. Whatever lag is there, just cover it when the short subjects come for the TND. Like, schedule is made in such a way that you get some time in between, like short subjects. That short subject week gives you time for the lag or the any
to
other
mop up anything.
yes, sir, whatever deficit is there.
No, actually, what he has beautifully explained is how to utilize test and discussion. A lot of people ask me this, so I thought, why not hear it from you directly? And it's very beautifully that you have explained everything. It is very important to understand that your MBBS years or your previous year was spent in making notes, and then in the internship, his main focus was revising notes, in between adding some tables here and there, but primarily revising notes, and then giving test to the best of his ability. And then after the test, he spent that time to look at what he was doing wrong, but he did not spend another week on it, because once that is over, then he started the next subject. And that was how the circle goes, and it is very beautifully done. And in between, in the smaller subjects, when they were scheduled in the TND, he utilized that time to clear up any lagging and any mop up anything that is left behind.
Yes, sir.
Very, very, very beautifully done. And now, if I may ask you that, did you also give that revision? We have a 2-tier system in TND. One is the test that happens in TND. One is the SWT that we give you on your online login.
Yes,
so did you utilize those SWTs?
I could give a few SWTs before the AIMS November, but I think that was not a good decision, and I should have tried to get some more time to do those subject wise tests. But then I later, after the November AIMS, I did most of the subject wise tests before the NEET examination, and I think that MCQ practice helped in the main exam.
And what about the grant tests?
So GTs I started giving from early only, from February, and because I was told that your preparation will never be complete or will never be at 100%, that when you will feel that you are ready to give a GT and you will score 100%. So it is better to get the idea at the earliest about your status of the rank or score, whatever you're scoring in GTs, and just work upon it. So that, because giving GTs early give you more time to work upon your deficits, and so it would be easier to work upon the deficits, and GTs are a media to improve upon. It's not just to get a rank and brag upon. It's a thing to improve and to get your self-assessment. So
it is like, whenever in medicine also, whenever we're starting a drug, we establish a baseline first and then we start the drug. Similarly, it's a good idea to give GT as early as possible. As early as February, March, you should start giving GT. Don't be afraid of the rank at that stage, but it will establish your baseline. It will tell you where we are right now, and from there you can only improve, and that will build that confidence that, okay, I'm improving, I'm doing well with every exam. Did you also give the CBTs that we had conducted?
Yes, sir, I gave both the CBTs. And
how was the experience?
So CBT was a good experience because we were exposed to the computer-based pattern, to go to a center, and with all those formalities that are at the actual center. So that gives a real life experience. So in the first CBT I got 650 something rank, sir, and then later on I got 1500. So these CBTs helped me to again push more for revision, and I felt disheartened because of the CBT rank, but also I took it positively that maybe CBT is telling me to improve or to revise more, or I've not put upon the, as sir said, ki one exam doesn't decide your fate or will not decide what you know or not. So but you have, that one exam will definitely tell you where to work upon. So so it helped the exam taking strategy is the most important thing, sir, that helped the CBT.
Yeah, yes, because he's rightly said that look at grand test and CBTs as a practice test to see how the real exam will feel like, to establish your baseline, to learn where you are.
Yes,
And
sir.
another thing is they expose your areas of weakness. And every time you get a exposure, okay, this area is my weak, you can work on it and improve.
Yes,
And
sir.
people have massively improved after I've seen CBT, and that is why after the final CBT, I gave 1 month. I said,
Sir.
okay, I'm not taking any more CBTs, although many requests,
Request for that, sir.
but I said nothing doing. I want you to work on because I don't want to just take a mock test for the sake of mock test. I want to take a test which exposes your weaknesses, gives you time to improve in the 1 month. So that was the entire idea. Did you also attend the DVT session that we had conducted for revision in September?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. It was the thing that had to be attended, and also I scheduled my internship schedule so that I was able to allot the casual leaves that we are allotted during the internship to the DVD session. Man, it is the most important thing that has to be attended during internship, and I attended it at the Talkatora Stadium because the number of the people there, they definitely push you to work harder, and the revision and the motivation level that at that point of time, that it improves a lot and it helps a lot. So matlab, it happened in the towards the end before the AIMS November. So before that, sir, it really helped to motivate us, and with the high yield topics in our hand in a handy form to revise, and that too, those are also self-written, so they are also, sir, matlab, easily revisable again. And we are told again and again, when we can do this whole subject in 3 days, so why can't you do at home by revising those? So sir, that really helped the DVD session.
Yeah, I personally feel whenever we are preparing, there comes a point after which you start feeling momentum in your body that okay, I'm doing good,
Yes, sir.
and then we need someone to help you to press the pedal that okay, now I have to work harder. And so that DVT is that moment for us. We
Yes,
try
sir.
our best to push you to work harder in the remaining 3-4
Yes, sir.
months.
They help to, sir, increase the stamina to read continuously for the long stretch of hours, sitting for with concentration for long hours. So it really helps.
How was your experience with the eMedicos app where we had put the previous paper
The
discussions?
eMedicos app, so the previous discussion paper have totally made the those voluminous books redundant now, and because of eMedicos app has the relevant questions and the most reliable source of the solution too. So, and they're easily revisable on your way to home or wherever. You can just look at it. You don't have to open the voluminous book and turn the pages up and downwards. And they're very helpful, sir. eMedicos, those and the emergency section, it was the session there. It was really good, sir.
And what was your experience with the Facebook club? Did you
Sir,
follow the updates with the
yes,
teachers?
I used to follow the updates, but I used to take the screenshots and keep in the phone. And the pinned post, it was the gem of the information and the updates. I didn't used to ask much. So I was not that active on the club for asking questions, but I used to follow the answers posted by the faculties. And if I had some doubts, so I used to search on the club because it had already been answered by faculty. So
That is a smart way of doing things. Let the others ask and then search for it and solve it and finish it off. Because you would appreciate by the end of the year, by the time you reach the end of the year, almost all questions have been asked
Yes, sir.
and answered
Definitely, sir.
multiple times.
Yes, sir.
So that was a very smart thing to do. And now I want to know from you, when you were giving this NEETPG exam this year, what was your strategy during the exam? Like, this is a 300 question exam, and it is divided into sections. So how did you go about the paper?
So before starting the exam, so we were there for 1.5 hours before the exam. So during that, I was just thinking ki I will not strategize before that ki I will attempt so many questions. I will just see the paper and see the flow through it. I will not get disheartened with any continuous row of questions if they are not being answered by me. So then I attempted around 240 questions in the first go. Then left 60 questions for later on, and then decided to mark by ruling out or by guesses or. But at the end, sir, I was left with 11 questions that I thought that they are not to be touched. So I just left those 11 questions. And,
289.
so 289
289
attempted,
was
sir.
good ratio. So we have seen with other rankers also that most of them have done 285 plus in this exam. So that is a good way to go about, and paper was more doable.
Yes, sir, it was more doable, sir.
Yeah. And any particular advice that you want to give to future aspirants about the NEET exam? Like you have been through this exam. Like
Yes, sir.
before this, you were very curious about what would happen on the day of the exam. Now you have been through it.
Yes, sir.
So what advice would you give to future NEET aspirants?
So for those in the colleges now, they have to start earlier at that is possible for themselves. If they are able to start at second year, it is well and good enough. It will also help in your prof's preparation, and will also orient towards the PG examination, because it is not easy now. The competition is increasing. The availability of the resources to every area is increasing. It's not just now Delhi or the metro cities. It is everywhere. The availability of the things are there, and you'll have to start earlier. And it is better when you start early. You will revise early, and try to do the things in short goals, like second year subjects to do that. Then just keep on reading. Be consistent with your 4.5 years of the MBBS, and MCQ practice you can do in the internship. It is no any hurriness to do it in the final year or pre-final year with those any of the books. Because it is very easier to have the app-based test now. The DAMS test series, there are like GTs you can give in the if you are joining the course earlier, so it will be available. Those tests will be available to you, so you can just have an idea about it. What are the level of questions? You don't have to be very apprehensive about that you're not answering the questions, but it will come, but you will just get oriented to it, and just follow one thing. Don't make a fuss, because it is more advisable to read one thing multiple times than reading many other sources. And try to incorporate sources like good standard books during the MBBS duration, whatever is possible. Robbins is one book that you should read every year possible. Like second year you can read it. Then during third year, when consolidating your notes or supplementing, you can add it. Even in final year, it helps to see the images of it. And Robin is one book that is to be read cover to cover. And any other standard books, if you're able to do, that is more good. And during internship, make a strategy according to your internship schedule. Try to look for that 2 months gap of the PSM posting, because it is the most light posting during the internship. And try to get most out of it and don't waste it. And be religious with the TND session and follow it religiously, and do small steps at a time, and someday it will give fruitful result. Even those who are not able to score very much, they can still, because whatever they have read, it will not go to waste, because it would have come somewhere near threshold level. So you have to just do more so that you're able to cross that threshold and the chemical reaction goes, because the activation energy takes initially is more, but later you have to just build upon the whatever you have read abhi tak. Revising again, as sir used to say, just revise your things. Sir used to say you have to have a good content, and good content need a good source, and a reliable source is DAMS definitely. In any controversial questions, you don't have to worry about the controversial question. That will be easily solved by DAMS. You can search it on the club. It would have been answered multiple times by even Diksha Sikri ma'am used to highlight that question for the MDS again and again, the controversial question. So as this is just one example, there are many questions like that, so they would be answered. Don't be worried about that. Just do the 70% the things of the exam that will come from the notes, DAMS notes only. The whole PSM, the OBG, the medicine, and surgery part, they're all from the DAMS note completely. And especially Sumesh sir's motivation is the best thing. You should follow his YouTube motivation channel, and the DAMS also give the clinico-pathological correlation, so that really helps. And just be motivated, and follow sir's videos on motivation, and just follow some motivation to try to be motivated during internship, because it's not easy during internship when you have a hectic schedule, but it is for everyone. It's really in relative terms, so you have to do the things. So just read whatever you can, and it will come out someday. So the things will get easier as more and more revisions are put in. And MCQ practice are definitely needed during internship. Without MCQ practice, the main examination will not be able to be solved efficiently. So.
Actually, he's very beautifully given a gist of what is to be done, and anybody who's listening to him carefully will get to know what is to be done. The idea is that do not run after MCQ or guidebooks in the beginning of the stage of study, and that is very important thing that he's pointed out. That at that time it is good to attend classes, make notes, learn from teachers, and add standard books to your armamentarium. Like he added Robbins, and that formed the basis of his entire understanding of medicine. That I think Robbins was your key book at entire MBBS. I could make that out. So so that idea that he had was that okay, my MBBS years will be spent making concepts, notes, textbooks. And then in internship he shifted more towards MCQ.
Yes, sir. Revisable material should be there. If you're not able to add more thing in the internship, at least you should have some basic, because the 100% of the paper will not be solved by anyone. There will be guesses made by even the toppers, even the rank 1, and but you have to aim for that 70 to 80% that can be easily covered by notes if you read it thoroughly. Thoroughly means you have to read it thoroughly. I used to read it for my prof, so I had read it multiple number of times. I would have read it many times, 10 to 15 times till now. And during the internship, because of the time constraints and you have to cover the 19 subjects, it becomes tough for revision, but you have to put in more revision, try to make a revision plan, and just follow the advices of the mentors, because they know the things, how will it work. And just don't mix up many things, because there are now plethora of information. Now you cannot run after all the information, because these all things revolve around the same thing, but you have to rely on the source which is more reliable, because you cannot lose even one question, because that will give you 5 marks deficit, and 5 marks actually means a lot when there is more clustering towards the ranking. So just rely on the good source and just revise it again and again. That's it.
So he's already explained to us, and I'll just put it in one line that you collect content in your MBBS years, and you convert it into readily revisable material, and then you use to revise it for the test, give tests religiously so that you have landmarks, and learn what you're doing wrong, then go ahead, and you run in like cycles. So it's very beautifully put. I think you have covered the gist of PG entrance exam in one go. Anybody who's listening to us today will get to know what is to be done in the real life preparation. An important thing that is pointed out is that do not run after everything available in the market. Today there is plethora of information available. You may be tempted to buy, but everything that you buy does not convert it into your concept, and just sometimes it may be just adding to confusion. And it is very important to understand that this is why this level of postgraduate exam is different from a school type of learning. So when you are in class first or second, you accumulate information about everything. You get to know about Russia. First time you're getting to know about China. You're getting to know about USA, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, which you did not know you are wanting to add. Here it is not just additive information. It is about clear understanding of everything, because this is at a postgraduate level. So at the level of concepts, the things are little different from just adding things. So that is what he explained to us in his entire discussion, I believe.
Yes, sir. We don't have to do any meta-analysis of all the information available. You have to just follow it one thing religiously, and when you're following one thing, so it has to be some reliable source, and there is nothing in the available more than the dams that is more reliable. So I'm really very grateful for the dams and the foundation notes. I think they are the pearls, and I think they will also help in my PG tenure also, sir.
Any particular teachers that come to your mind today?
So definitely I am very grateful to Dr. Sumer sir and Deepthi ma'am. They are the stalwarts and the best motivator you can get, and they are readily available. whenever you can meet them, and they are very ready to help. And the personalized care that we can get at DAMS is not matchable. And they are very motivating. And the updates by the Dr. Rajaratna ma'am, the ophthalmology faculty, they are the best. And optha, I used to be scared of optha, but her series of that one opthal pick a day keeps the fear away. So that was really very helpful. And the clinical pathological correlation videos and the DAMS e-medico solutions, they were really, really helpful. And I would say just selectively choose the informations that you want to imbibe and just work upon that, and it will really be fruitful. And just follow it religiously. Don't be apprehensive that whether you're reading correct or not. Just go through it, just revise and revise, nothing else. And read whatever you can. Even an hour a day will make a difference during the hectic schedule. Just don't stop learning, just read continuously.
And finally, I would want you to say something motivating to people who are listening to us. Like, many of them would be interns,
Yes, sir.
and some of them would have thought the internship is so busy, I can't even get on and
Yes, sir.
do it in first go. And you have done it with internship. You are rank 165 right now and a top rank in your state. Can you say something motivating to people who are going to give an exam this year
Yes,
with
sir.
internship?
Just think giving an exam during internship, it's a common factor for everyone. So that you have to be just smart enough with the internship. And I was advised correctly by Sumay sir that you will not get time in the internship just as a leisure time. You will have to generate time. So that time is to be generated, like when you're going somewhere for a report collection or you're going for any intervention with a patient. So just go through the questions. You can solve some tests, some 10-20 questions on the way to the hospital or anything. So you have to generate time. The sir used to say, just generate time, the time will not come to you. So the more time you generate, more you will prepare, and nothing else. So during internship, just think that you can do, because it is in relative terms. So every posting will come for everyone. So just don't stop reading. Don't be disheartened that it is very tough to do with the internship. There will be ups and downs because of the scheduled duties, like 24-hour duties, and such that you will feel that you have not read anything on that day. But you will do later on, because there will be some free time during lighter postings. Just don't rest during the lighter postings. You have to just get out maximum of those times and just continue. And the Fire in the Belly, the sir's book, the title itself is so motivating that it is not to be calmed down, it is to be litten up. And if you have to burn the midnight oil to get the fire in the belly on, just do that. Just follow the advices, and don't copy anyone's others advice or from interviews, because you may be having some different set of strategy or different setup of the schedule or whatever, but just see what fits for you. And there are many variables. So and also I would just say just keep the variables minimum. So by keeping only one source, so you're keeping one variable. If you're taking many sources, there are many variables. So handling many variables is not easy for success. So handling one variable to your success is easier. So just do that only. It's all the best. And
Beautifully said that listen to many advices, but then formulate a final plan based on your own personality.
Yes, sir.
That what you like doing. It is very important. That sometimes it's rightly he said a lot of important things here. That sometimes when you hear a good ranker speaking, you think, okay, I should be doing like this, but your personality type is something different. So you have to individualize those advices. So listen to many people, it is okay, but then have your own final thing. That is the key, and that is the key to our taking so many interviews, spending so much time here, so that you get to know different strategy that different people have utilized, but then you create your own, and you add your own nuances, your own strengths, add something for your own weakness and create a plan, and then tell other people in the next year how to go about it. That is the entire cycle here. And with this, I again congratulate you on your achievement.
Thank you so
I
much,
take
sir.
this moment to congratulate your parents. I'm sure they must be very, very proud of you today.
Yes, sir.
Heartiest
Thank you.
congratulations. God
Thank you,
bless
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.